Hello, hello. Good morning. I hope that you guys are doing well this morning. We are doing the lettering lab today. So we're going to be doing a fun lettering watercolor design. So I hope that you guys will join us. Be sure you design. So I hope that you guys will join us. Be sure you, so I hope that you guys will join us. Be sure you, and share this out to anybody who might want to do our tutorial, and also grab your engagement points right here. And we are going to do this cute, all you need is ice cream today. That is going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. So it's going to be a really fun lettering lab today. So Thursdays is the day that we do lettering stuff. So that is what we're going to be doing. We are going to be working with the Meeden tube watercolor paints. So if you have not seen those, the colors are amazing. These are the colors in this kit right here. I have finally got them all swatched, and they are gorgeous. There's 48 of them in that set. So that is what we are going to be working on today, or working with. The opportunity to give a screenshot in just a moment, Miss Jamie. I surely am. I was just showing that just quickly so everybody would kind of know what we were doing. But we're going to be using all of these. We're going to be using the 48 color set. It's the one that I keep in my drawer right here. So this is the paints that we're going to use. They come in these very nice size tubes. And I keep them right here in my drawer. But this is what I put them all in this empty tin, and I use them like a palette. So that's how I'm doing it. Nope, you hadn't missed it yet. You were actually one of the first people to hop on this morning. So you were an early bird this morning. Maybe because I'm coming in an hour late, like I normally come at 10 and I came in 11 today. But either way, it doesn't matter. I'm loving the 11 o'clock. It's much less stressful for me. So I'm really liking the 11 o'clock time. Okay. Or at least my time, it's 11. Okay, so we are going to be doing, so we're going to be using these, all right? So we're going to be using these today. We are also going to be using the, I'm going to be using the my Funto journal. That is the 8.5 by 5.5. So that is this journal right here. I have the purple one. They come in all different colors. But I'm going to be using this. It's a great little journal. The paper in it is really, really nice. And you can do sketches with watercolors in here. You can do just regular sketching. This was our last week's lettering lab. We did the one in a melon last week. So, and then, let's see, here's another lettering one that I just recently did, and this lettering one I finished. So we're going to be doing, still working on my turtle. So we're going to be using this. Now this set, it comes with 2 in this set. So you actually get 2 of these instead of 1. So just so you know, I'm using this one, but you do get 2 of these in the set for that price. So, I mean, you can't beat that for $16.99. You get 2 journals. They're great. The paper in them is amazing. They are, it is a cold press paper, 140 pounds. It doesn't say whether it's cotton or not. So I don't think it's cotton, but it's a great paper. I like it almost as much as I like the meet-in paper. So, you know, that says a lot because the meet-in paper is craziness for me. Like, I love that paper. It is chef's kiss. I cannot tell you. It's absolutely incredible for me. I love that paper so much. Okay, so we're going to be using this right here, like I said, and we'll go through kind of everything that we're using as we go, but here's mainly the things you're going to need. Hang on one second. I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Through kind of everything that we're using as we go, but here's mainly the things you're going to need. Hang on one second. I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Sorry about that. I was getting text messages that were coming through and they were distracting me. So, okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to need a pencil, which I will be using my Nic Pro pencil set, and I'll tell you all about that in just a moment. Oh, well, you'll like this, Jamie. You'll like this paper. I really think you will. If you like the meet-in paper, then you'll love this paper too, because it's really similar to the meet-in paper. It feels really similar, and it acts very similar too. So you're going to need a pencil. You're going to need an eraser. You're going to need a paintbrush, and you are going to need some paints, and you are going to need a waterproof pen of some sort, like a micron. Okay, so that's all the things that you're going to need. Now, I will use things here and there that you don't necessarily have to have, that are optional. Okay, so just know that. But the bare minimum is a waterproof pen, a brush, a pencil, an eraser, some paper, and some paints. Okay, those are your basics that you're going to need. You don't need talent. So I'm just telling you right now, you do not have to have talent, or you don't have to have natural artistic ability. Okay, we are going to make this simple. All right, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, and all you have to do is follow the directions. Okay, I'm going to pull out my paints so that I can use those where I need them. So I'm going to do that right now. There I have them. All right. So let's look at what we're going to do today so that you guys can get your screenshots and everything before we get started. So if you are at a point where you are ready to paint, then grab your paints and everything and get ready. You're going to need a screenshot of our inspiration picture. So here it is. All you need is ice cream. This is what we're going to do today. It is going to be super cute. It will not look like this when we get finished. We are using this as a guide, but this is going to be our art. We will make it our own. So be sure and understand that there's no expectations going into this. Okay, guys? So go ahead and screenshot it over the next 4 or 5 seconds. I'll leave it up just long enough for you guys to get a screenshot of it. So as we start to draw, you know what we're doing and you have a reference photo to look at. Okay, so hopefully everybody has that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. All right, we are going to get going on this. I'm going to put you on the overhead so that you can see what we are doing. Yeah. All right. I'm going to turn you like this because I'm going to be turning this like this. Okay. All right. So we are going to be doing, we're going to be drawing out first. So this is the pencil set that I use. It is the Nic Pro Blocky Gear pencil set, and it is a mechanical pencil. Nic Pro Blocky Gear pencil set, and it is a mechanical pencil set. What I love about a mechanical pencil set is that your line work is consistent. Okay, your lead, no matter how short it gets, the width stays the same. So your line width is always going to stay the same. If you use a regular pencil, it's going to, as the lead gets dull, the pencil width gets wider, which means your lines get wider. So it's really hard to keep a consistent line when you are dealing with a regular pencil. So using a mechanical pencil is the way to go when you're sketching. And in this set, you get the 0.5, you get the 7, the 0.7, the 0.9, and the 2.0. So depending on what width you want in your pencil or in your line, you just switch pencils according to what size line you need. And it's always going to be consistent, which is great. You also get all the different hardnesses of the leads. So you get your soft and your hard leads. You get 3 good erasers. You get a kneaded eraser, which is great. And you get several of your small, teeny tiny erasers that go inside your pens. Plus you get some colored leads as well. You also get some pencil sharpeners for your 2.0 leads. And it comes in this nice case that you can take with you. So I take this everywhere I go. It always goes down in my bag, and I use it multiple times every day. I can assure you. I use this pencil set every chance I get. I love it. And that is what we're going to use today. I'm using the 0.5. That's my favorite one. And it's got an HB lead in it. Oh, sorry, guys. Here I am yawning. I didn't put my focus patch on this morning. Probably should have done that. Sorry, I had to take my morning supplements. You know, it takes me a little while to get them all down because I take a stack of supplements every day. And then I also take a stack of patches on every morning. But it's better than taking a bunch of pharmaceuticals. So, all right, we're going to get started. Hey, Stacy Lee, how's it going? Good morning. Good morning. All right, let's go ahead and get our drawing together and ready. We are going to start with our ice cream cone, and we are going to go at an angle, and it's going to be kind of like a triangle. Okay, so we're just going to draw our cone and round the bottom and then make our triangle. Okay. I don't know what happened there. Kind of got off. Why can I not get my line to go straight? I'm going to have to turn this. There we go. All right, so I have my cone. I'm having a hot mess. Okay, now from here, we are going to have some drips of our ice cream. Okay, and they're kind of random, so don't worry too much about it. But we do want that kind of base started, okay? Now, I'm not going to worry too much about the shape of my ice cream itself because that can be whatever we want it to be, okay? But we do want to remember that this is going to kind of bleed into each cone. Like each little layer is going to bleed into the layer below it because we're going to do a wet on wet technique. So we want that to bleed a little. Not a ton, but we do want to have some of those drips. Okay, so just remember that we want some drips in our cone. Okay. And then, of course, we're going to have our top one. And again, we want a few little drips. Okay, so there's our drawing. And our cone has these little waffle lines that we want to have going across to give us our little squares. Turn it this way and make our squares. Okay. All right, so there we have it. Our little ice cream. Okay. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my kneaded eraser and I'm going to lighten these lines up first. And the bottom, it doesn't matter near as much as these on the top because these are going to be lighter colors, so we don't want too many of those lines to show. Although we're going to use a black multi-liner, and we can cover up any major lines that we don't like. But we do want to have okay. I'm not really too worried about the cone because that's going to be brown. So, okay, so now we have, basically we've lightened up these lines and we are going to start work on our cone. But first, we're going to do our background. Now, when we do our background, I'm going to be using the Meeden number 7 because I want to do a very much splotchy background for this. Okay, so what we're going to do, good morning, Talia. How are you? I'm glad you made it. I know you already have the photo, so. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put some water around. Oh, that was dirty water. Let me fix that. Not sure what happened there. Let me get my paper towel. I guess my brush must have had some paint on it. All right, so we're going to put water on our page, all over the page, by the way. Okay. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some colors that I'm going to use. I'm going to take we're going to do a yellowish, orange, a blue, and a pink. So I'm going to take those same colors and I'm just going to tap them onto my page that's wet. And those are going to kind of spread out, okay? So now I'm going to do like this yellowy color. And again, I'm going to just tap those onto my page. And then I'm going to use this blue. And I'm not going over my ice cream cone, although some of them are getting on there. That's not going to really matter because it's still wet right now. So here's what I can do with that. I can do this and I can pick those colors up enough to where they're not going to show once I'm done painting. Okay. And then we're going to dry our page. I got that kind of on here. Let's get our whole page dry. Yes, hang on 1 second, Stacy, and I'll let you see the photo. Let me get this dry. All right. So, well, this page is kind of coming up, so I'm going to just reshape it a little bit. And here is the photo. Stacy Lee, this is for you. Anybody else who hasn't gotten the reference photo, go ahead and grab it so that you have it. Okay. All right. Okay. Now we are going to put our big brush away. I just used that for the background is all. That was this number 7. And we're going to pull out our number 1, which is in here somewhere. Let me find it. It's my little lazy Susan here. Well, it should be. Oh, no, I already pulled it out. Sorry. All right, here it is. Whoops. I don't know what that was. I dripped. Okay, so what we're going to do to start is we're going to start working on the cone itself. Okay. And that means we're going to have to put a base coat down first. We're going to use the ochre. Okay. So let me pull my swatch book so you guys can see the browns that we're going to be using. So you guys can pick a brown out of whatever palette you're using that matches. Okay. So we're going to be using the, we're going to use this raw sienna. We're going to use this yellow ochre. And we're going to use the burnt umber. Okay, so this brown right here, this yellow ochre, and this raw sienna. Those are going to be what we use. And they are going to be, let's see, it's going to be this one right here. Put some water in it. And then these 2 right here. Okay, so those are what we're using for the cone. Okay. All right, let me put this away. All right. Okay, so we're going to start with the base of this right here, the lightest one. Okay, and we're going to go in and we're just going to put this base on our cone and work our way around all of our little swoopty swoops here, our little drips. Keep it fairly wet so that you don't have any harsh lines on your base layer. Sometimes I just reach over and grab more water and add it directly to it. And one thing you'll notice in these Funto journals is you see I've put a lot of water on this paper. And it is not beating up. It is not giving me those little fuzzies, which is super nice. Because a lot of paper, you get those big giant like little fuzzy balls that develop if you put a lot of water on your paper. And this paper does not do this. Now, I'm on the smooth surface side, whereas there's also a textured surface side, which is this side. I'm on the smooth side today. Most of my lettering work I do on the smooth side of my journal pages. Okay, so we have that. We're going to go ahead now and we're going to dry that. Okay. And then we are going to take that next brown that's up and we're going to go along our little lines, okay? And we're going to give our lines some definition. So we're going to kind of go just across. Our cone. Okay, this doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be consistent with width because it's really kind of a shadowing job. So don't worry too much about it being, you know, exactly perfect. You can skip some places and just kind of give it the look of having these waffle shapes. Okay, we'll go back in a minute with some shadowing. So, but go ahead and give your waffle cone look. Okay, so basically that's where we're at. Okay. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go in with this darker brown, but it's going to have quite a bit of water with it so that we can kind of start shading. Now I'm going to use my palette. Where is my ceramic palette? Well, I'll just use this one. I'm just going to use the palette off of my You know what? I might want to use a different color. Hang on a second. Let me just decide. I think I might want to use this raw sienna right here. Let me just see what color that is in comparison to my cone. I think I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this instead. Okay, so I'm going to use that. I think it's called raw sienna instead. No, it's the burnt sienna. Okay, so we use the yellow ochre, the raw sienna for the lines, and now I'm going to use this for the shadows, this burnt sienna for the shadows instead of this burnt umber. That's going to not be harmonious enough. This is going to give us some harmony, so that's what we're going to use. If we need to mix it a little bit with some of that burnt umber, we can, but I feel like this will be good. Morning, Mom. How are you? Hey, Angel. How are you? All right, so we're going to go definitely with that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just kind of drop in some shadows through this left corner here. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go over this. I'm not going to blend too much because I don't want to mess up my lines. I want those lines to still be there, but we're going to give it some shadowing through here. and in a few areas, maybe over here some too. And I think mixing it with that, that burnt umber will be even better as far as the shadow goes. So there's not really a rhyme or reason to what I'm doing with these darker areas just yet. I'm just giving it some shadows in some places. Oh, I'm sure you are, Angel. I hope today's going to be a better day for you. Okay. Okay, so now we have some shadowing in there, and we're going to go in now, and we're going to take this burnt umber, and we're going to mix that in. And we want to mix that with that, whatever color the second was. I think it's the yellow ochre. We're going to mix that. So we kind of have that mother color. Remember we talked about mother colors? Yes, I know. I know. Sometimes that's all you can do is just try your best. So let's go ahead and dry this. And we're going to go, I'm going to get my detail brush from my Golden Maple set. Okay. And I'm going to use the 18. And we're going to put in some even darker shadows along the lines. So my Golden Maple set is this right here. This is the detail set that we're going to be using. And I'm going to be pulling this, let's see, where's my 18 that I love so much? I think this might be it. Nope, right here. I'm going to be using this 18 out of that set. And again, we're going to be mixing these colors so that we have that harmony of the browns, but this is going to be a darker line, okay? And we're going to actually go along these areas where we have these squares, and we're just going to, whoops, that was too much. We're just going to give it some shadows on the left and bottom of the squares right here in the corner. Left, bottom. To just kind of define those out. And then once we do this corner with them, we're going to kind of go just along some of these edges to kind of define those out a little bit. I'm just going along the bottom side of all of these. And then again, this way. So we're just giving it kind of this just slight undertone of this other brown here. Oops, that wasn't slight, was it? Great thing about an ice cream cone is you've got a lot of different shadows in those squares. So if you do something like I just did and put too much, you can pick up a little bit, but even if it doesn't pick up, it's not going to be a big deal because it's an ice cream cone and it's got lots of different shading. just like that. Okay, so we have our, all right. Now, yes, Scooter, we actually used gouache a couple, actually last Tuesday or Wednesday we did a gouache one. I just haven't, I'm not super versed in gouache, so sometimes, you know, I pull it out and use it, but for the most part, I'm still not great at it. Well, I'm not that I'm great at watercolors either, but I definitely have a lot more experience with watercolors than I do gouache, so I don't think to pull them out as often as I probably should, for sure. But I do like gouache. And honestly, this right here would probably work really well with gouache if you like to use gouache paints. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm still learning myself with gouache. Well, I mean, I'm still learning with watercolors. Who am I kidding? You guys know that. I'm just defining out some more of these squares a little bit, giving them this shadow because I want this to look very natural. Okay. Now, I still feel like it needs even some darker right up here in this area right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to make it really dark. But you want to use this color right here as a mother color so that it's harmonious. But this is going to be much, much darker. Okay. And we're going to go in and we're going to just even give these another shadow, another layer of shadowing. I really like that dark color. That looks better. Okay. And I'm going to go in with a little bit of water and kind of give the insides of these a little bit darker feel as well. And sort of work my way down with a little bit lighter as I go. I'm just using clear water for this. Kind of working my way through. There we go. That looks a lot better. So we have that dark side of the cone there where that shadow is kind of falling. Okay. Now I'm going to take my Mita number 1 and I'm going to kind of just, with clear water, go over all of this. So that we have a good cohesive top coat. Okay. All right. Now let's dry it. And then we are going to, now we're going to add in some white highlights. I'm going to use my Skinny, this is my Lango pen. We're going to use that as our highlight. Okay, and we're going to come, hang on one second, let me find my reference photo back. Okay, and we're going to give some highlights right here, right here. And this is where, honestly, you could use, gouache here because it's not as translucent, and probably do fine with that because this is not, this white doesn't show up as much as I would like it to on these lighter squares, but it's there and it's subtle, and you do want it to be subtle. So just going over the tops and the bottom edges of each of the squares. Okay. Okay. So now we have our little highlights on there, and we can even do some even darker, like little, if we wanted to add some dark shadows along some of the edges, we could with our detail brush. I'm going to do that just because I think that'll look really nice. Kind of bring out this side right here. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish this kind of edging. We're going to come in with a black multi-liner in a minute, so it's all right if it's not perfect, but yes, we are. We're going to come in with that, Scooter. Sorry, I just now saw that comment. Yeah, I'm going to come in with a black multi-liner in just a minute. But I'm currently just trying to get the shadows where I want them to be first. And then we're going to come in with the black multi-liner pen. All right. Also, I think I want this right here to have this dark shadow under these drips. So I'm going to do that as well. Okay, so we have that kind of shadow. Now I'm going to even come back with a darker shadow on the left sides of those drips. So what I'm going to do is I'm mixing in this dark right here into my mother color right here, which is going to give me a really dark shadow on. And I'm going to I'm sorry, the right sides of these. No, I'm going to do the left. So right here, and then right here, and then right here, right here. Okay, so that's just kind of give that a little bit of depth. Maybe right here, and definitely right here. Okay. Perfect. All right, we'll come back with our black multi-liner in just a little while and do that, but let's move on to the ice cream scoops. All right. So on the ice cream scoops, we are going to use the colors that you see in our background. We're going to start with the yellow on the bottom here. So I'm going to take my Meeden #1. So everybody get whatever normal size brush that you like to use. I'm using a Meeden #1 out of this set. And hang on one second. I have a sweatshirt on and I'm having a horrible hot flash that I need to take my sweatshirt off or I'm going to like literally burn up from the inside out. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take my #1 and I'm going to use, these are the colors that we're going to use for this. Just so you guys know. We're going to use the this permanent deep yellow and this orange yellow. And we might even use this, I don't know if I want to use the pale yellow. All right, we're going to use this lemon yellow. No, we're going to use yellow pale. We're going to use permanent deep yellow. And we're going to use orange yellow. Okay, so those are the colors. So whatever color you have in your palette that goes with these two and this one. Okay, now this is going to be our mother color. We're going to use this color and mix it with everything that, like all the other colors that we have, so that we have that harmony, because that pale yellow isn't exactly the yellow, it isn't exactly the hue that you need to be harmonious with the rest of it. So I want to make sure that we are using harmony. So let's see. What did you say? You said gamboge. Let me look and see what that is. Oh yeah, we could use the gamboge too. The problem is I need a very pale light. Well, we can do the gamboge. We'll just do these hues down here at the bottom. Those will be better. So yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Good choice, Jamie. Good choice. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go with, let's see. I'm just needing to make sure I have my, okay. So these are the colors that we have the options of, okay? This is the gamboge right here, or gamboge, I don't know how you pronounce that. This is the mid yellow. This is the permanent deep yellow, and this is the orange yellow. So those are what we're using. And we are going to go in with, let's just go in with the gamboge first. So I'm going to go ahead and go ahead and dump your water if you need to, and get clean, clear water for this. And drop in your water to the colors that we're going to be using so that you have it. We're going to use this gamboge to start. Oh, got hair on my brush there. Okay, so go ahead and add in your base color. Now my back is like right on the verge of, like, when I turn just the right direction, I feel like it's about to go out. Like it just gives me this little hinge of a pain that if I turn in just the right way, it's gonna just give on me. So I'm trying to be really careful as I move this morning. I don't know if it's because it's cold today, which it normally, you know, we've been having these hot days and now we're all of a sudden cold or what, but all right. So now I'm going to put water on this and pick this up because this is too dark. I'm going to go ahead and take my dry brush here and I'm just going to pick up as much of this color to get some of these light areas. There we go. That's better. Okay. Especially right here on this side. All right. Now we are going to go in and we are going to start adding some shadows. So let's move back to our other brush. We're going to go into this next color up. And we're just going to drop in while it's still wet some shadows along here. And we're going to drop in some right along here. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Hang on, I need a few right here too. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the orange. Okay, but I'm going to not go quite as far with that. I'm going to drop in that right here. A couple of places. Maybe a few places down here. And then right over here. I'm just going to kind of blend that until I feel like it looks the way I want it to. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's supposed to look a little messy. Okay. And then I'm going to dry it. Nanners, yours back is out too, huh? It does look like a mango, kind of. I know, Stacey Lee, anytime I have back issues, I think of you. I think, gosh, dealing with that every day is difficult at best. All right, once we have that done, we're going to move on to the next color. Now, our next color we're going to do in blues. So I want to, let's see what blues we want to use, y'all. I'm thinking that I want to do for sure the phthalo blue. But I'm thinking I love this cerulean blue also. All right, let's pick 3, you guys. Here's our blue options. We have the cobalt, the cerulean, and the sky, which all 3 of those in this light gray. So we have these 3 that we could do. Or we could do this sky blue, the cerulean, and we could use the phthalo. Or phthalo, sorry, not phthalo. The phthalo blue. I think I want to do these 2 in this one. What do you guys think of that? Y'all hear my bird out there chirping? Chirpy, chirpy every morning. Everybody always thinks it's on my music, but it's not. It's literally outside my studio window. Now I have a family of them. It was one bird, and now I have like baby birds. So they're all chirping. Oh, rain and snow, yuck. This one, the Prussian blue. Nanners, is that what you're talking about, the Prussian blue? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's pretty. We could do the sky and the Prussian and the cerulean. I just love this phthalo color. So anyway, y'all pick 3 of the blues that you want to use. Okay, whatever you want to do. We're going to do this very similar to how we did the other one. I'm going to use the sky blue, the cerulean blue, and the phthalo blue, I think. Okay. So you guys have your own palettes. You can choose whatever blues that you want. Okay. I am going to, like I said, I'm going to use the sky blue, which is going to be right here. Ooh, I need clean water, y'all. Be sure you clean your water. And then I'm going to use the cerulean, which is right here. I love this cerulean. It's literally one of my favorite blues in this palette. And then I'm going to use the phthalo, which is, let me see, I have the olive green. Here's the phthalo green. That's the phthalo. Olive. Indigo blue. So that's going to be this one. Let me just make sure. Yep. Okay. It's going to be this one. Sorry, I had to figure out where it was in my palette. Because I do. Yeah, okay. All right, so those are the blues that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to start with the sky blue. I'm going to give myself this nice... Good morning, Unjudgmental. How are you? Yes, these are watercolors. We're working on today's the lettering lab, and we're doing a lettering art, but we're doing the ice cream before we start the lettering. So we're going to go with this sky blue. So go ahead and put in however you want to do your base color, whatever base color of blue you want to use. Fill in your ice cream. Okay. Gonna pick up some of my color there. And then while it's still wet, I'm gonna reach in and I'm gonna add in a little bit of this cerulean, not too much, because it can definitely overpower if you're not careful. And I'm going to put a little bit over here. Put some down in here. It can be messy, remember, we're not looking for perfection. Maybe a little bit right here. And then I'm going to go in with my phthalo. And I'm going to add some more of that phthalo through here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend it out with water. Just clear water. Just keep in mind, you can go in and take away, you can add to, you can do however you want. Add a little bit more of this phthalo right in here. And then I'm going to add a little bit more of the cerulean right over here and here. And I'm going to dry it. I'm not going to overthink it because I do tend to do that. I'm going to dry it off. What comb part? This part? No, that was simple. That wasn't hard at all. All right, now we are going to do the top part. All right, now the top part, we are going to, hang on. I have to wipe off my water thing, my paint toilet. I need to get some more water. Y'all give me just a second. I've been dumping my water more often than lately because I've been using so much of it. All right. Y'all, I couldn't live without this meat and water dispenser. This paint, I call it the meat and paint toilet, but I don't know. They call it, I think it's a brush cleaner or whatever, but this thing is amazing. It saved me. I did not even think I would use it either. When they sent it, they reached out and said they wanted to send it to me, and I was like, sure. And I thought, I'll never use it. Yep. I'm telling you, I have 2 of them now. My grandson has one and I have one, and I use his and mine. And when he's here, we don't have to fight over mine. So that's good. But unfortunately, they've been sold out since before Christmas, so I can't tag y'all for them. Thank you, Unjudgmental. Okay, let's move on to, now we're going to use the pinks. So let's pick our pinks. I am going to go with these 3 right here. No, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm going to go with this pink and these 2. Okay. Pick whatever pinks you feel like you want to use, but I'm going to go with the light pink first. Okay, so that's going to be this one. I'm lying. It's going to be this one right here. And then I'm going to go with these 2. Okay. So that is what we're going to do for this one. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the light pink. And we're going to put that on here as a base. I'm going to leave a little area right here that's got some white gaps. Okay, now, if for some reason the white gaps look a little off, then fill them in and just pick up paint and it'll still look okay. I'm going to pick up a little bit right here so that we've got that highlight over here on the side. All right, now I'm going to drop in some of the medium pinks right along here. And then this darker pink. Okay, and we're going to blend it with some water. And if you don't know how to blend, let it do the work for you and just drop some water on it and let the paint spread on its own, because it will. So you just drop some water in it like this, doop, and let it do its thing. And again, I'm not going to fuss with it too much, because if I do, I'll mess it up. I'm just going to kind of let it blend on its own and figure out the rest. Now we're going to dry it. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Which palette are you talking about, Unjudgmental? Are you talking about the travel palette? The first one? That's their high-end travel palette. That is not what I'm using. Let me show you what I'm using. Okay, so this one right here that I'm using are these. Okay, these are the paints that I'm using. And what I did was I put them into an empty tin. So they are the Meeden, just so you know. There are these Meeden tube paints right here. And I put them into this empty tin from Meeden also. The travel palette that you're looking at is their high-end, like really nice walnut case travel palette. And while it is a wonderful palette and I love it, it is luxury. It is not, it's the luxury palette. That's this one right here. And it comes with, I'm just going to pull this out so you guys can see it. I'm going to back up so you guys can see. It's this really nice luxury palette with the little copper cup and everything. And it opens up into here like this. And your cup goes here for your water. You put your paper here with this clip. And then your mixing tin is here. It comes with 25 colors. And it comes with a really nice brush. Super nice paintbrush. And these little places for you to stick your brush. However, this is a luxury item. This is not your average watercolor paints. Your average watercolor paints are what I'm using. And that is the tube paints. And you get 48 colors in this set as opposed to 25 in the other set. So I always say if you want the travel palette, great, but it is definitely a luxury item. It's not like a necessity. So don't feel, like definitely pick. Yeah. I mean, they're still fairly pricey. Watercolors are expensive, just in general. Now, the one thing I'll say about Meeden is that Meeden has good quality for a good price. Whereas you will get a lot of really, really expensive watercolor paints that are the same quality as Meeden, but way more expensive. This company, the reason that I like Meeden so well is because they have good pricing and good quality. And you're not stuck with, because a lot of times if you buy those cheap watercolor paints from your general stores, then you're stuck with cheap looking art. But if you get a good quality paint at a decent price, then that's all you can really ask for. Like I have some palettes that have 12 colors in them that cost me over $100. So getting 48 really nice professional colors for the price that they have, and I can't remember their price on the 48 color set, but I remember that it, when I got them, I remember thinking that's a decent price. So it just, I don't know, just in general, art supplies are expensive. Everything's expensive these days, though. I mean, gas is going up and groceries are about to get more expensive with everything that's going on overseas that, with all the, blockage of the shipments and stuff. I mean, it's about to get bad, y'all. Like I don't want to be doom and gloom, so I'm going to get off that subject, but I worry. Okay. So we have our, yeah, that's true, Stacey Lee. Okay, so I'm using the tube paints. I'm not using the big, the travel palette, the luxury palette. And I did not purchase that luxury palette, by the way. Meeden was kind enough to send me that palette, and I have used it, and I do love it. It is amazing, and I understand why the price is the way it is. The walnut case in itself is so well made. It's very, very high-end and very luxury. But it's not something that I spent money on. It was something that they sent me. I was really blessed. And that they reached out and were like, can we send you this? And I was like, oh, yeah, of course you can. Do you need to ask? So anyway, okay, so let's move on. We are going to now do our, let's go ahead and get our liner out, our multi-liner. I'm using the 005 by Grabby. out of their black set. And let me pull those up for you guys. These are waterproof, so you can paint, or you can put watercolor paint over the top of these and they will not smear. They're very much similar to the Sakura Micron pens, which are also in my shopping cart because I have both and I love them both the same. So just FYI, you can also use these. They are also waterproof. So it's whatever you feel like, you know, whichever one you prefer is fine. Okay, I'm currently using the grabby ones right now. So, but what we're going to do, yeah, they really are unjudgmental. They're super nice. But they're also, I mean, microns and multi-liners, these waterproof ones, I mean, you're paying for them, but they're worth it, in my opinion. And the grabby multi-liners are a little less expensive than the microns, I think, but they're both, the quality of both of them are amazing. So, all right. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go around our cones. Okay. And we're not going to do, we're not doing it exact. We're just kind of giving it an outline, okay? We don't want it to be exact. Same thing here. We're going to just do, you know, a few lines. In our cone. And so I'm going to move my paints out of the way. Just move these really quickly so I can turn my book. Again, I'm not doing full lines. I'm just giving myself a few places where maybe it's a little darker and more defined. But other than that, I'm just and then we're going on the outside here. And that is basically all for that. I am going to go back with some colored pencil in a minute and do some shadowing under here. So that will be happening. Okay, now I'm going to go through and I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting with my ZSCM white. Thank you, Unjudgmental. Yeah, it does. The shadowing definitely does. Shy Panda, I have been doing watercolors for under 2 years, less than 2 years. I started really practicing though in September of 25. So not quite a year. Like every day. I started every day, like watercoloring every single day, making a practice of it. And I have truly improved tremendously. It doesn't require talent, just so you guys know. Like, I'm not talented. It does not require talent at all. What it requires is practice and a belief that you definitely can do it. And that's it. And if you practice, you learn it for sure. So, okay, now we are going to do, let me just get, I'm going to get some of this dark brown pencil. I'm using the Color colored pencils. Well, Shy Panda, all you have to do is join us every day. We do a painting every day, except on Saturdays and Sundays. So we do a painting every single day, and that gets us to practice. So colored pencil goes great with watercolors, and I use it all the time. We do them. As a matter of fact, I shade the majority of, like, we did this one on, when did we do this, guys? Tuesday? This was our Tuesday tutorial, and all of this shading right here is colored pencils. Let me show you, let's see. This is all colored pencil shading. This is colored pencil shading. And all of these we did, these are all live tutorials that we did. Now, I don't do colored pencil shading over gouache because that is, I found out, is not very good. So I don't do it over gouache. These two are gouache. But this is colored pencil shading, all of this. So, and we do these tutorials every day. And if you want to, my Tube of You has all the replays. So if you're looking to go and look at those tutorials, you can get the replays on my Tube of You. I cut them out of the Meeden 5x7. So I use Meeden paper. I use the 5x7 cold press, 100% cotton. It is product, I think, number 2. No, it's product number 4 in my shopping bag below. And you get 4 equal ACEO sizes. So you get, you can get 4 of these out of one sheet. And you don't have any waste. So you don't have a little strip that you can't use or anything like that. It cuts evenly, 2.5 by 3.5 inches. And it's amazing paper. You get 20 sheets in a pack, which means you get 80 of those ACEO sizes. And that's on Mondays and Tuesdays is when we do our ACEOs. So every Monday and every Tuesday we do, we have a list going of the things that we want to do. And we just pull something off the list and we do it on Mondays and Tuesdays in that ACEO size. Unfortunately, sometimes whatever people put on my list is not necessarily something I'm good at. So sometimes they're great and sometimes they are a hot mess. My dragonfly was a hot mess. We had to do, that was one of the ones that, the dragonfly turned out to be a hot mess. But, you know, the flamingo, which I didn't think I could do, turned out to be beautiful. He's one of my favorites. So I just never know until I try it. I don't ever practice ahead of time. We just do what's on our list and we have fun with it. And if I mess up, we mess up. I don't care. It's just the way it is. Like, I've never done this ice cream cone, but we're doing it. We're making it happen. Today, and on Thursdays, we do what we call our lettering lab. So Thursdays is the day we do a watercolor with lettering. And we practice our lettering skills as well. And on Wednesdays, we do Wildcard Wednesday nights. And we do a nighttime one. And we do a card of some sort. So that we have a stack of cards in our arsenal to send out to people. So that's Wildcard Wednesdays. And then on Fridays, we do Faithful Fridays. And we do Bible art. So, and we do a little devotional and some Bible art on Fridays. So you can join us anytime you want, and we would love to have you. And we learn together. So really and truly, I've learned more doing lives than I ever learned by myself. So, all right, I'm using the Color pencils, and I am going to pin those for you guys. These are the ones that I'm using. Yes. Yes, Shy Panda, we did that. We did an entire series last Christmas of 10 Christmas cards. So we did 10 different tutorials of Christmas cards. Those are also on my Tube of You. And we did those so we used an entire package of the meat and postcard paper, and we did 10 Christmas cards and sent those out for Christmas. It was so fun. We also did a Grabby calendar series for the 2026 watercolor calendar that Grabby had. And we did one every day. And we did an entire year of a watercolor calendar, which was really fun. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ginger yellow. I'm going to take the apricot yellow. And I'm going to take the coffee. Those are the three colors that I'm using in the colored pencils to do the shading up underneath this. And the first thing I'm going to do is just go in with this first color. And I'm not going very far because I just want this to have a little bit of shading under it. I don't want it to overpower the waffle pattern. Okay. So I'm using the ginger. And then I'm not going to go as far with this apricot yellow. So I'm not going to go as far down into the pattern as I did with the yellow. I'm doing light pressure. Okay. And then I'm barely going to go up underneath it with the dark coffee. Okay. So there's not going to be a whole lot of that dark coffee in there. Just enough to give it a shadow, and that's it. Okay. We're going to go back over it with medium pressure. Okay. And then again, medium pressure. I'm not going quite as far with this. And then medium pressure with the coffee. Just basically outlining is all I'm doing with the coffee. I'm not even hardly coloring with it. Just giving it a little bit. But do you see how that's bringing that shadow out? All right, now we're going to go through with heavy pressure. The reason we do the 3 different pressures is because that's going to give it more of an ombre blend, and you're not going to end up with a bunch of harsh lines. You're going to end up with a blend as opposed to a bunch of lines that look like you just colored it in with pencil. Okay. We want it to blend. We don't want it to look like a bunch of colored pencil all over your watercolor. Okay. All right. So now you can see that shadow. See how defined that shadow looks now? Absolutely. I will go check it out. Shy Panda, I will definitely go look at it. I will follow you too as soon as I get, well, actually I can get to it right here. Yeah, there. I just followed you back. So now I'll be able to access that easier for sure. Yeah, they've been dropping the price on these, Angel, and I think it's because they had a really good sale the other day, and like Stacy Lee got hers for like under $20. The entire 240 piece set for under $20, which is crazy. So, gosh, I love these, but I love these pencil set, and I would pay double for it in a heartbeat. I love this set so much. Okay, now we're going to go right along this left edge, just a little bit, right along here with that shadowing as well. Not too much. Okay, and I'm just using the first two colors. I'm not even using that coffee color, because I don't want it to overpower it. But I do want to have a bit of that shadowing. Okay? All right. Now, same thing with the rest of the ice cream cone. If you want to shadow up underneath your drips, then you should definitely do that. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of shadowing under my drips with, I need to find my orangey yellow right here. That's close. Let me see. These are just what I have in my little Lazy Susan beside me. Yeah, no, it looks like it needs a cherry on top, doesn't it? I might have to do that. We'll see. Let me get to my yellows. This comes with 8 trays, okay? And you get your neutrals, you get your blacks and grays, and then you get all of your primary color families. So you get 8 trays total, your 6 primary color families, and then your neutrals and your grays and blacks. And I'm telling you guys, so amazing. Like, you get, as you can see, you get all of these colors right here. So I was going to see if I had a better orange, but I don't think I do. Maybe this. It was already out, so. But you get all of these different trays with your color families. And these are the blacks and grays. And these are the neutrals. And then your purples and pinks. And then your blues. So. I can try that, Janelle. I don't think it does. Let me see. I'll pull it out right now and try it. Joy says cherry on top. Yeah. Let me see if it will close like that. I don't know. It very well might. I didn't ever think about doing it like that. So let's see. Okay, so no, it will not. Okay, that is actually worse. But if you do this and you close it, it will close all the way. Okay, you can see that it's closed. You're not going to lose the cup. The only thing is it will not sit flat. Okay, it'll sit on your table slightly off. Okay, until you open it, and then it'll sit flat. So it'll still like screw into the tripod holder, and then, you know, your cup will fall into it easily, but it will not sit flat like that. So I know it is a bummer, but I mean, I carry mine like this all the time. You know, when I travel with it, I just leave the cup in it. So, you know, it doesn't fall out or anything. And I just, you know, that's how I take mine. But it all depends on if you want it to sit flat while it's closed in storage, then yeah, you definitely. But I keep mine in the case that it came in. so that, you know, I have a place to put my cup when I'm not, and I have a way to store it flat. So, it's got this nice, really magnetic case. Meaden's packaging is top notch. So, I definitely keep it. But I feel, Janelle, this is what I feel like, they did. And this is probably not at all what happened. This is like, just in my mind, is they're like going through and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect. It's such a beautiful palette. Look at this. And then they're like, but wait, this doesn't close. And they had the design all done and they went, this doesn't close. But you know what? I'm tired and I don't care at this point. So maybe they won't notice. And because the rest of the palette is so amazing. So we'll just leave it like that. I know that's not what happened. But, yeah. So, Samantha, I'm using the Funto sketchbook. It's right here. Da, da, da. I'm using that sketchbook. It comes with 2 of them in a pack. And also, Samantha, we were talking a couple days ago about the ink in the printer, and I did some research and found that there is watercolor or waterproof ink that you can put in your inkjet printer. So I ordered some from you know where, and it should be here today. And it just changes out in place of your regular black ink, and it is waterproof. So I can print my sketches that I want to paint with that instead of, and I don't have to worry about that ink smearing. So just so you know, I did do my research on that. The other thing I wanted to tell you is that I don't know what I did wrong, but for some reason, I had a zip code wrong on your address, and I got your package back yesterday. So I resent it yesterday. I don't know if I just I don't know how and it wasn't even close to your zip code. It wasn't like it was a typo. It was like not even close. Like none of the numbers were the right numbers. So I don't know if I just looked at a different address by accident and used the wrong zip code or whatever. But anyway, it came back to me. I sent it out yesterday again with the correct zip code. And it says that it is going to arrive at your house on Monday. So you should have your prize by Monday. So I'm sorry and I apologize about that. And yes, I will message you about that. About the ink. Where's the purple listed? Yes, the one that shows there is gray, but I have the purple version. Yes. It's the, let me pull it up so you can see it. It's this one right here. It's the Funto Watercolor Journal, cold press, faux leather bound, 8.5 by 5.5, 140 pounds. And y'all, I love these books. Funto makes a great journal. So I have their small one too, and their small one is amazing. It's my favorite out of all of the journals that I have. Their small little purple Funto journal that I have is my favorite out of all my journals. And these are my second favorite. So love them. Love, love, love. So much. These are great. Okay. And you get 2 of them. You get 2 of them. All right. We're back to our pencils. Let me pull those back up again. Sorry, guys. I got a little sidetracked there for a minute. Here are the colored pencils right here that we are using. Okay. And I'm using the pale yellow, the light orange yellow, and I think I'm going to use this pumpkin yellow. Although if I really wanted to get crazy, I could use the bright orange red. But I think I'm just going to use these 3. And I'm just going to go right up underneath here slightly. Just enough to get this shadow kind of happening. Okay. This is light pressure. I don't even think I need this light yellow, honestly. I think I could do it with just these two. That light yellow is almost too light. Okay, so now we have kind of that shadow defined, and even if we wanted to, we could come back with this really dark right here on this left side right here to kind of make those even more defined. I don't know, maybe even go around like that. I like that. Okay, so now we have that shadow kind of defined out. It's the watercolor, Joy. It's not the multimedia. Well, I mean, I don't know. It might be considered multimedia. Let me look. Let me just look really fast because I don't want to. It's the 2-pack watercolor. Yes, art supplies for mixed media. Funto watercolor journal, art supplies for mixed media. And when you select the options, I selected the purple 2-pack for $26.99, I think is the cost. Yes, I am using both pencils and watercolor. I've already done the watercolor, and now I'm going back and doing some shading with the pencils. Me too, Joy. I love Funto. Their journals are my favorite. Out of all of my journals, I love my Funto journals the best. I was just thinking that this morning. I was playing around in my little one because I have their little 4.7 by 4.7, the small one, and I just love it. I mean, I love the paper in it, and I love the way that I love the texture. This is the small one. I've been through. This is my third one of these, I think. But you can, we did this last night, and I just love how this turned out. And this cute little frog. And these small ones have the texture on both sides of the paper, which is great. So you don't get a textured side and then a smooth side. These, you get a textured side and a smooth side. This, you get textured on both sides, which is pretty cool. So, yes, you could use oil pastels as well. Yep. Okay, so now it's time to let's do a little bit of shading for our blues. Let's do a little bit of shading for our blues. Blue, which is going to be this one. And then I'm going to need a medium blue. And then I'm going to need this dark blue right here. Just like that. Those are the colors that I'm going to pick. Okay, so we have the pale blue, the cyan blue, and the cyan. Okay. And we're going to go through, I don't know if we really need the pale blue, but we're going to try it to see. We may need it for some blending, so we're going to kind of go just right up along here. Light pressure. And then we're going to do the cyan. I'm not going to go down quite as far with the cyan. I need to sharpen this. Just a little bit up underneath here. And then we're going to use the light cyan, which oddly enough is darker than the cyan, which is kind of weird. Let me sharpen this too. And I'm just doing barely an outline with that, so we get that shadow. Thank you, Joy. Yeah, I probably should do that every time, because it really is, like, people don't realize the difference that colored pencils can make in doing the shading of your watercolors. Like, once you're done with the actual watercolor itself and you want to add some shadows in, colored pencils is a great way to do that. Now, you can do it with watercolors. By all means, you can do that. It's a different look, though, if you do it with watercolors. If you do it with watercolors, you're going to get, those harsh edges that look like watercolor shading, which is great if that's what you like. But I like to have that faded sort of ombre blend, so that it looks very naturally blended, I guess. So that is why I like to use colored pencils, because it gives it a much more natural blend to it. All right, there we go. So now we have that shadow. And so you can see how that shadow happens very naturally with these. There we go. You'll see that kind of shadowy feel to it. I wonder if I should do that here too. That kind of looks flat. That looks better. There we go. All right. So it's not, Stacey Lee. It was not. It's a triangle with a bunch of. So it's not, Stacey Lee. It was not. It's a triangle with a bunch of cross hatching is all. I feel that so much in my soul, Joy. I'm always wanting to order more things. I'm one of those people that like hoard like art supplies. Oh gosh. Okay. All right, so we have that done. So now it's time to do our lettering. So I'm going to pull out my pencil again. So we're going to go back to our 0.5. Hang on, let me find it. Here it is. Our 0.5 from our Nick Pro Art Mechanical Pencil Set. And we're going to do our lettering. Me too, Joy. I'm a hoarder of all things art as well. I love that, Stacey Lee. Me too. There's nothing wrong with that. One can never have too many art supplies, candles, and light up reindeer. At all. So, okay. Let's see. I am going to, let me pull up my reference photo. All right. I'm going to do the ice cream part first. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do these nice little, kind of blocky little letters. Okay. You can do your regular letter and then bring out your okay. I don't want that to be pointed though, so let me erase that. I want it to be square, like that. I kind of round them a little bit. Sorry, I messed that up. Okay, ice. And then we're going to do cream. Same way we did the first time. Just around. I don't think too hard on these because they are, they're block letters and they can all be different and they don't have to be, you don't have to be perfect on these. This looks more like a G. Let me fix that. I went too far. And as you can see, I'm not even doing all of the letters exactly the same. Like that E is totally different than that E, and that's okay. The idea is to do it different so that you don't have to stress over them all being exactly the same. And you never want to try to do them straight because that's way too freaking difficult. So. So we're going to go with the M, we're going to go up down, up, down, and curve up. Okay. Not perfect, but it'll do. I'm not a huge fan of the way that my lettering looks, but I never am. I really struggle with lettering, which is why we do this lettering lab every Thursday so that I can practice on my lettering skills. Okay. Right, Joy? Preparing for your future needs. That's right. You never know. You never know. Thanks, Jamie. Okay, so we have the ice cream. Now, right here is where we're doing our kind of script writing. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that with the faux calligraphy style. Hi, baby.
Hey.
What you need?
I'm going to go to Lowe's after this massage.
Okay.
So you have to send me some money.
I can give you mine. Where's my purse?
It's in my car. I'll call you later and you just transfer it.
I can't do that because it's in my other account. So if you'll grab my purse out of the car right there, I can give you my card. We're going to start working on the upstairs of our house today. I'm excited. My husband's going to go to Lowe's, y'all, and we're going to get our railing. If you guys follow that homesteading page that we have, it's crazy. I'm so excited to get my upstairs finished because we are DIY renovating a 1860s home, and it is currently the bane of my existence, y'all. All right, so we're going to thicken up this right here. Perfect. And we are going to, before you check out, call me. No, that's not the right one. Sorry. Or text me and tell me how much that you think it's going to be, and I'll transfer it to that account, and then you can check out with it. Okay, sounds good. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, it is, Angel, for sure. I love you.
Love you.
Okay. We're going to thicken this up. We're going to thicken this one up like this. And we're going to thicken this one up like this. Okay, we're going to thicken this one up like this. And this. That. A little bit of that. This. And that. Okay, so that's how we're doing that, guys. We're just thickening up our downstrokes. But you wouldn't get very far. Trust me, I don't have enough. I've been saving up for our railing for upstairs for a while. You guys, anytime y'all support my showcase, you need to know that that's my savings that's going towards remodeling or restoring this home. What we did was we lived in our house for 30 years. And we sold it. And when we initially bought our house 30 years ago, we got it for next to nothing, right? Because it was 1994. So we sold it for about 3 times what we paid for it 30 years later, which, hopefully, right? And we didn't have any debt on it because it was paid for. So we used that money and we bought this property that we have right now. So I know you are, Stacy. But we got this property that we have now. And so, but the property had a detached garage that was full of just junk because it was a foreclosure. And then it had a house that was built in 1860 that was gutted. So all of the stuff in the garage we sold or trashed, depending on what we needed, what it was. And then we turned that garage into our tiny house, which is where we live right now. And the 1860s home that is being restored currently is going to be for my for my daughter and my son-in-law and my grandkids. They're going to live there. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you know how much I love my grandkids and how I have to have them on a regular. Like, they're over here all the time. But they're going to live literally less than 50 feet from my front door, which I'm going to love. And we're going to be living in the tiny house. So we're planning on staying in the tiny house. But the upstairs of the tiny house, we turned into a loft because it was a garage and it didn't have an upstairs. But I wanted a vaulted ceiling because it just felt so small. And so we got the ceiling vaulted, but we built a loft in the back. And that has to have a railing and flooring. And then we're done, completely done with the inside of the tiny house. So those are the last two things that we have to do. So when you guys support my showcase, just know that money is going directly to finishing up the tiny house and then the main house, which is the 1860s home. Because the money we got off the sale of our house is what we used for our property. And again, it was a foreclosure, so like the property itself was definitely needed it needed lots of work. But we have done it, and it is honestly amazing, and I love it. And we're about 70% done with the main house. We're hoping that by fall the kids will be able to move in, Lord willing, because we're doing all the work ourselves. So of course that takes longer. Okay, all you need. And then is going to be the I. And we're going to do this fun little S. But I will tell you, while we were building the tiny house, we were living in our motorhome, which I love my motorhome, y'all. Don't get me wrong. But I did not want to permanently live in it ever. And that was a struggle, let me tell you. I'm glad I'm not living in it anymore. Now I can just enjoy it for our travels. Okay. All right, so we have our lettering all lined out. Okay. All right, so we have our lettering all lined out. Okay. Sorry, guys, I accidentally swiped on my phone. Okay, so we have our lettering all done, and now it is time to get it painted. So we're going to switch back over to our, the first thing we're going to do is the black part. That's going to be this. We're going to switch to our Grabby, and I'm going to be using the Grabby 01, I think. I might use the 03. I'm not sure what I want to do. Let me see. This is the 03. I think I'm going to use the 03. I'm going to use the Grabby 03 to start. Yeah, Rhonda was having her kitchen done the other day, and she was in a tizzy. I think it was Rhonda that had the, you were stuck in your bedroom. She was stuck in her bedroom. So all we're gonna do is trace out these lines, and then we're just going to color them in. You could also do this with a brush pen if you wanted to, and actually do, you know, the actual pressure lettering. So like if I wanted to do, I could use I would use the sketch pen, but if I wanted to, oh, that was nice of him, Stacy Lee. If I wanted to, I could do, I started this, y'all, but I never did finish it. You go up and then down and up. And then, so honestly, if I was better at lettering, that's what I would do. I'm just not that great at it yet. I want to be, but I'm not good at my pressure just yet. I just need I need some practice at it, but that's how you would do it. So, if you were going to do it like with a pen, with this is the S. That's the one I would use if I was going to do it that way. So if you guys are brave and you want to try that, then I say go for it. I, however, am not. Because I worked too hard on my ice cream to mess it up now. So I'm doing the faux. But one of these days, I'm going to be brave and I'm going to do it like that. Make sure it's dry before you erase your pencil because you don't want to smear your black. I am going to erase the pencil marks on here, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to let it, make sure it's dry before I do that. Again, I'll erase my pencil marks once it's dry. I'm going to move this over here so you guys can see a little bit better. And I can lean over my paper better. Okay. Sorry, I'm not talking. I'm concentrating. Okay. Did you say you had a stencil? No, I did not. I'm not using a stencil. But that is a great compliment, because the fact that you think that I have a stencil to do this is amazing. I love you for saying that. No, I hand wrote it and then just fake filled in these downstrokes to make it look more naturally lettered. Okay. All right, now let me erase my pencil marks. Let's just make sure it's all dry first, because I don't want to smear it after all that hard work. All right. These are also waterproof, so if you were to splatter paint on it or whatever, which I will be doing at the end, I will be doing some more splatters on it to complement these wet splatters that I did at the beginning. All right, now for these lines, I need to use my kneaded eraser and erase some of these lines, because I don't want them to be dark like this, because we're only going to be using the black on one side as a highlight, because we're going to be using our ice cream colors to do these. So make sure that your lines aren't too dark. And if they are really dark, like I did, because I had a heavy hand on these, which I shouldn't have had such a heavy hand, you can even do this to lighten up those darker spots. I just don't want those dark lines on mine. Okay, so I kind of have that line, the liner, you know, the light lines there that I can see, but that's all I want. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go through, and I'm going to be using my detail brush to do this, guys, okay? I'm going to use my, probably, let me change, because I'm not going to use my 18. I'm going to use the round, this one, 2. I'm going to use the number 2 round for this. And we're going to use the same colors that we used in our ice cream, okay? So to start, we'll go with the light pink. And here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and just going to put water in here, okay? So I'm going to put clear water in my lettering. Okay, and I'm going to put not a ton, but enough that it's going to spread well for me. Okay. And I'm going to start with my light pink. And I'm going to put that in. Okay. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of my darker pink to kind of blend in with that light. I'm just going to blend that darker pink down. So we have some different shades in our letters. We're not just using like a straight flat pink, okay? We're going to do that with all of our letters. We're going to use, so if I want to use the yellow, Let's just say we're going to use the yellow for the C. So we're going to put our water in there. And then we're going to add in our yellow. And then we're going to add in our orange. Okay, so it's not just a flat color. Even if we wanted to even go a little bit more heavy-handed on the orange in one spot, we could. More heavy-handed on the orange in one spot, we could. Sorry, guys. Y'all know me. I'm always going to forget to plug my phone in. Okay. So I'm going to go darker right around this blue section right here because that blue is kind of coming through there. So, okay, so we have just different values of the same. Millie, thank you for the follow. I'm following you back right now. Okay. Now I'm going to go back in. I'm not going to do blue. I'm going to go back in with the yellow again on the E. I don't want to have this like pink, yellow, blue, pink, yellow, blue. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go back in with the yellow again so that I'm going to disobey the rules of not having the same colors side by side because in the original, it's like that too. Not in this order, but it is the one that we are using for inspiration and it looks great. So I'm going to do that. So we're going to go back in with this yellow. And the yellow is going to be in the middle this time. And I'm going to do this orange on the outside edges. Okay, and we're going to do some shadowing and stuff with these in a minute. So they're going to look flat when we start. Thanks for the heart, me, Talia. Yeah, you guys, if y'all have not grabbed your engagement points right there, hit that little box with the heart in it and grab those. That helps me out. Tapping the screen and giving me likes is very, very helpful to getting us out on the FYP. So, I mean, even not supporting my showcase, if you don't want to buy anything, you can certainly support live creators by tapping the screen. As often as you think about it, it is incredibly helpful. So thank you so much, Talia, for all of those taps. Okay. Let me see. Hang on 1 second. And let me just see where we're at on this. Okay. You know what? Let me put these paints back up. I forgot to put them up for you guys. These are the paints that I'm using. They're the meat and tube paints. I have just put them in a empty tin so that they're like a palette, but they are the tube paints that I'm using today. All right, let's move on to the blue. You're done? Man, you went fast. You did good. My lettering takes time. I'm super slow on lettering. I'm very particular about letters, and it frustrates me when I get it wrong. Okay. Blue. I'm going to do the cerulean right here. And then I'm going to do the phthalo. Maybe I'll even do the sky in this one. That looks good. I am too, Talia. So don't get frustrated. Just keep practicing. I always say practice doesn't make perfect, but it does make better. Practice makes better. So don't get frustrated with it. All right, let's do pink on my R. Oh, I forgot to put water in there. Let me do water. Lots of water. Just make sure it's wet when you try to blend. So I just reached in and grabbed quite a bit of water and put it on my brush so that this pink that I'm putting in here is really wet. So when I go in with this darker pink next, I'm going to end up, it'll blend better. Okay. Okay, hang on one second, guys. If y'all will give me just a minute, I'm going to pause this for just a second. I'll be right back. I have to grab something really quick. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I needed to grab my iPad because I know when my husband messages me and tells me how much I'm going to need to shift for him, I have to have the ability to do that. And I can't do it on my phone because I am on live with you guys. So, okay. I just thought about it and I was like, oh, I need to do that now. Okay, wet palette that I have for my pen in there for over a week. Still good. Oh, that's good. Is that a Stay Wet palette with gouache or what? Oh, cool. That's good. I think they're reactivatable. I think you told me that you could reactivate them. So that's good. I haven't fallen in love with gouache like I was hoping, but I still might. I don't know. I haven't figured out why. I want to. I really want to. But maybe I will still. I'm going to keep trying. I think part of it is I don't try enough. I don't use it enough. And I really need to. So I've got to start forcing myself to do that. I'm trying to use different hues. Different tones of the same hue so that I get more colors in my lettering than just the pinks and the, just the same like combinations of these colors. So now for this M, it has kind of a mixture of both. So I'm going to try both on this one. I'm going to do pink and yellow in this one. So we're going to do the pink. Here. I'm going to do a little bit of this dark pink, maybe up here. Like that. And then I'm going to do the yellow on this side. Like that. Okay. We're going to dry this, you guys. You do, unjudgmental, you do use water with gouache. You want to keep it wet. The more water you put with it, the more it's going to act like watercolors. And the less water, the more it's going to act like acrylic. The difference is it's not quite as opaque as watercolor is. So it's going to be, or it's not quite as translucent. It's going to be more opaque. So I just messed that M up, y'all. It's so frustrating. Let me try that again. Let's get some water in here. I just messed this up. I reached in to try to get that little black piece off and messed it up. So we're going to add in some more pink because I loved the blend I had there, and then I just messed it up. And then we're going to blend. That's better. All right, let's dry it. Okay, then we're going to go in and we're going to put our liner shadowing on these. Okay. So we're going to take our Grabby 01. I'm going to use the 01 for this. And we're going to go under here and here and here. Okay. This part stresses me out. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, now the last thing is for the splatters that are not saturated. So we have these splatters in the background that are saturated, and now we're going to splatter without the saturation, or with more saturation. No, with less saturation. Okay, sorry, I got to think that technical term through because I'm not a classically trained artist and I don't know all the terms correctly. So, all right, so we're going to use this dark pink to start. That's going to be our first splatter. And I'm going to use my, I don't want to do a ton. I don't want to mess it up, like ruin the, I should put, hang on. I should put something over this. Just a second. There we go. Okay. Let's try that again. I want to see it, Talia. I'll look at it as soon as I get done. I'm excited to see it. I'm sure it's beautiful. I don't care what you say about your lettering. Okay. Now we're going to do, I'm going to use the cerulean blue. It's my favorite. And then we're going to do the yellow. Which is a lot harder to see. Okay. And there we have it. All you need is ice cream. And we are our own worst critics, Talia. And I'm telling you right now, I look at my stuff and I absolutely, without a doubt, loathe the majority of it. But I have so many people that go, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. So you just have to let go of your personal expectations and feelings and allow the other people to decide. Yeah, see, but so are yours, though. I love all of yours. They're always so good. I always feel like yours are better than mine, that you should be teaching the class. So, isn't that crazy how that happens? Now, I feel like the ice cream could use some white splatters on it. Just this part. And I'm not sure how I want to go about doing that. I think I'm going to do it with the gouache. I think I'm going to do my white gouache. So I'm going to pull out this white gouache and I'm going to add some water to it. And this may mess up the whole thing, but we're going to try. I want some big splatters, though. I want them to kind of be... So they're not splatters. They're going to be splotches. That's how I want them. Maybe one right here. These will lighten up when they dry, so... Okay. Now those are going to lighten up once I put the dryer to them tremendously, but it'll give them kind of a little highlighted look. And once they're dry, I think I'm really going to like the way that they look. Yep. Thank you, Dixie girl. All right, so now we're going to put our cherry on top. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Meeden #1 brush, and I am going to get just a standard red, any red you want, guys. Whatever red you're comfortable with. I'm going to use this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a circle, but I'm going to leave a little white area on the side. Right here. Like that. Just like that. And then I am going to take a darker red. So I'm going to use this, I'm going to use that same red, but I'm going to mix it with some black. Where is my mixing palette? Here we are. I'm going to mix it with just a little bit of black to get this kind of a burgundy color. I'm going to drop that in. Okay. And we're going to dry it. Okay. And there we have it. Ta-da! Today's lettering lab is complete. What do you guys think about this one? I had a blast doing this one. This one was so fun. I love how it turned out. I love the lettering on it. I feel like the more I do this, the better I'm getting at doing all of the lettering parts. So you guys tell me what you think. Hey, Kaylin, I just sent out your Highland Cow 2 days ago, I think. You should be getting that the next day or two. I'm excited that you won that that auction. So I know that you wanted the cow. So he is on his way to you. Kaylin has my cow, or she won the cow, and I can't remember the other one that you have. You got another one of mine, but I don't remember which one it was. Oh, the fox, that's right. Oh, you got the two really, the ones that took me really long time. You got two of my really lengthy ones, so good for you. I'm glad that you have those. I know that you will appreciate and love them because you saw me paint them. And know the trouble that I went to get them painted. Okay. All right, so that is our lettering lab for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. We used the Meeden tube paints, which are right here. I put them in this Meeden empty tin. So let me show you the tin that I put these in. Find it. Dun, 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 dun. It's in here somewhere. Right here. This is the tin that I use. It comes to you, oops, I pulled that out. It comes to you empty. It comes with all of this, obviously it comes with all of these, but it comes no paint in it at all. These are removable too, by the way. I remove these individually all the time to use them. But, and it goes in here like this. Sets down in there. You have your mixing palette here. You also have your mixing palettes here if you want. Folds it up and it closes up in here. So you don't have to pull out your tubes every time you need, every time you need to use your paint. You can just use them as a palette. And then when you need your tubes, you just pull them out of here and you refill it and then you put those back. So I don't have to pull those out every time, which is really nice. So I love that about the empty tin and these tube paints. So if you get the tube paints, I'm telling you right now, I highly, highly suggest getting the empty tin as well, because it makes for an easier time, because I don't have to sit and pull my my paints out every time. See, I can pull this out just when I need to refill. And what happens if you don't have that is you have to pull this out every time. You have to pull out the colors that you want, put them on a palette, use them, put the tubes back, and then clean your palette and all that. With this, you don't have to do that. You put them all in here, and then the only time you have to pull these out is when you need to refill them. So, again, if you get your tube paints, I highly suggest getting this with it. It's just, and that was something that I had to learn. I got the tube paints, and then later I was like, I can't keep doing this. It's just too much trouble. So then I wasn't using them at all. And now that I have them in a palette form, I use them all the time. So, if you're, if you're contemplating the tube paints, then I'm telling you the way to go is to get this with them. Okay. Okay, so yes, this will be going up on my Tube of You, the replay, if you missed it. No worries. And then let's see, anything else, guys? Any other questions about any of the supplies that we're using? I got in trouble a couple of times for sending y'all off of the app, so I can't really say much other than the replay will be available. So, and that way you guys know where to find all of that. Anything else though, other than that? If you guys want if you have any questions on products, we use the Meet and brushes today. If you are into, if you're needing a good professional brush set and you don't want to pay a professional price, then these are what I highly, highly recommend, because they are, very, very, they hold a ton of water. They don't rust. They're incredibly wonderful for upgrading your art. I just cannot tell you enough how much a brush makes a difference. So if you guys don't have a good professional brush set, this is the one that I would highly recommend grabbing, because they are such a good set of brushes. So there is that. And then the other brush set that we used was the Golden Maple Detail brush set. And that is this set right here, which is, it comes with 20 different brushes, and you get your liners, you get your round brushes, you get your flat brushes, you get your fan brush, you get an angled brush. All of these are designed for miniatures, like furniture for doll houses and model cars and things like that, but they're really good for watercolor as well. They're designed to reduce hand fatigue. They don't rust and they don't shed. They're made of a really high quality birchwood handle, and I'm telling you guys, if you need a detail brush set, then this is the one to go with, and it's by Golden Maple. Okay. The other thing that we used today was these Funto journals, which are the absolute best. Telling you, the Funto journals are great. Let me pull those up so you guys can see them. That is the journal that we used. So it is this, it's a 5.5 by 8.5 size. You get 2 of them in this set. So it's not just, you get both of those. So I got the purple. It is the Watercolor dual-sided cold press, 140 pounds. And it's great. The paper is amazing. It's got really good texture to it. And you can make beautiful art in this. You can do sketches in it. You can do watercolor paintings in it. You can do fun little blendings with it. And then, of course, today we did the ice cream. And you can do it on both sides. So I use this for, both sides of this journal. But today we did the ice cream on it. So that was the journal that we did. Love this journal, y'all. Funto makes the best journals. I love them so much. If you're looking for a really good watercolor journal, then go with Funto, because out of all the brands I've tried, I really, really like their journals the best. So there's that. And then let's see what else. Oh, and we used the Color colored pencils for our shadowing. Those are right here. Let me find them. We used the 240 set. It is on an excellent price right now, just FYI, if you're looking for a good set of colored pencils. That is what we used for our shadowing. We used all of these today for all of this shadowing underneath our drips and for the shadowing up underneath our cone right here. All of that was done with these Color colored pencils on top of the watercolor. We could probably even do shadowing on our letters and make those even pop more than what they already do. But just so you know, we did not. We used them just on the drip shadowing, but that turned out really, really nice. So love these pencils. They're great. If you're looking for a good colored pencil set, I can assure you that having more options rather than less options is good when it comes to colored pencils. Okay, guys? I hope that you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. Does anybody have any questions? We also used the Grabby multi-liners today. You can use microns also, but just make sure you use a waterproof pen because when you're doing your watercolors, if you put water on it, you don't want it to smear. So make sure that you do that. I'm trying to think. Anything else that I didn't cover that we need to talk about? Anybody having any questions? Y'all pop those in the comments, please. Because I want to make sure that I answer everything before I hop off of here. So, uh-oh. Hang on. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to multitask here, which is not good. Okay. So any questions on anything else? We did the Grabby pens, and we did, let's see, I think I covered everything as far as all the supplies that we used. Ultimately, guys, if anybody can do this, okay? All you need is a waterproof pen, a brush, a pencil, some paper, and some paints. Okay, you don't have to have what I have. Okay, you can have any of the you can have any brand, okay? Any brand at all is fine. So I just want to make sure everybody knows you can do this without, you don't have to have the exact supplies I have. You can just join us every day and we will do a different tutorial every day and you just play around until you learn how to do it. It's a skill set. It doesn't require talent. And when I say that, I mean that wholeheartedly. I was not born with talent to paint. I started doing this 2 years ago on a whim. I bought my first Mead palette and started learning and started watching videos, and that's the way that it works. So join me daily. Tomorrow I will be on. Dolly, thank you for the follow. I'm following you back. Tomorrow I will be on at, let's see, what's tomorrow? Friday? Or is today Friday? What's today, y'all? Today's Thursday. Yes, today's Thursday. Okay, tomorrow I am going to be on at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Tomorrow is our Faithful Friday. We will be doing a devotional and we will be doing a Bible art page. So tomorrow at 11 a.m., thank you, Angel, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, I will be on to do a devotional and a Bible art page. I think I'm going to do Jonah and the Whale. I think I'm going to do a page, Get On Loser. Let's obey God. Let's be obedient. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to word it, but want to do that with a whale. I think it'll be really fun. So that is the plan for tomorrow so far, unless, I mean, obviously that can change, but we certainly have the ability to change it whenever we decide to, but that's my plan for now. Any questions on anything else? I've got about 5 minutes left, and then I'm going to hop off of here. The other thing I want to tell you guys, I haven't done that. I haven't gone over this in a while, but I want to make sure that I do before I get off of here is I'm going to, Stacy, I don't know how to do that. Sorry. I'm not sure. I haven't figured that out yet. I need to figure it out, but I haven't. Okay. So, this right here, this is a, pencil sharpener that I use for my colored pencils. And so what I want to do is show you how important it is when you have a good set of colored pencils not to eat them up with a pencil sharpener. So this is a pencil that's sharpened, okay? And when I put this in my pencil sharpener, it is going to sharpen it a very short period of time because it is already sharp, okay? Now, this is a pencil that is not sharp, and it's going to take a lot longer for this to sharpen, okay? And so I want to show you, if I were to put this in here, if this were my colored pencil, I would put it in here. It's going to sharpen it, and it's going to spit it out. See how quickly that worked? Now, this one is not sharpened. It's going to take a whole lot longer to get this one to sharpen before it spits it out. Now it's sharp. So when you sharpen your colored pencils, you do not want to eat those suckers up because they're expensive. So what you do want to do, Jimmy, thank you for the follow. I am following you back. So what you do want to do is you want to have a pencil sharpener that will stop sharpening once your pencil is sharpened. Not one that just keeps grinding and grinding and grinding until it's met the time that it's set to grind. All right. You want one that registers how sharp your pencil is and spits it out when it's sharp. That way you're not eating up your colored pencils and wasting your money. Okay. So if you have a good set of colored pencils, having a good pencil sharpener is a must. The other thing I like about this one is that when you put it in here, it grabs the pencil for you. So you don't have to worry about accidentally tilting it and snapping that tip. So it keeps these soft core pencils from breaking, which is great because you don't want to waste the lead on those either. So again, if you have a good set of soft core pencils, the last thing that you want is a pencil sharpener that is going to break the lead or eat them alive. Okay, you want to have one that will stop. You can also set this for the sharpness. So like if you want it to be less sharp, you turn it more to the right. If you want it to be more sharp, you turn it to the left. It is wireless. So it does not have, you don't have to worry about, I'm going to put it on the screen so y'all can see it. You don't have to worry about cords on your desk because it's wireless. You just charge it, and when you're done charging, you put your cord away, and you can set it on your desk, and you have it available when you need it. I love this pencil sharpener. It is worth every dime, and I know it's pricey, and I'm not going to say that it's not. I'm not going to pretend that it's not pricey, but I also can tell you that it's worth it because you save that in saving your pencils. So, sorry, I just got water on this. I want to make sure I dry it so it doesn't get messed up. All right, now it's dry. Okay, All righty. So, no, it doesn't, it's not battery operated. It is, I mean, I guess it's got some sort of battery in it that you recharge, but it's not anything you add to it that I know of. It's just a cord. It comes with a cord that you charge. So there's no batteries. Yeah. Which is great. I'm telling you guys. And if you're like if you homeschool your kids, this is a great thing. If you are a teacher, it's great to have. If you use a lot of colored pencils like I do, it is excellent to have. I mean, it has really cut down on how quickly my colored pencils go away. Because I do a lot of sharpening because I like my pencils to be sharp. And so as soon as they start dulling down and I start noticing that the sharpness, that I can't get the look that I want, then I immediately stick them in the sharpener. So, but I love the fact that this sharpener doesn't over sharpen. That's the great thing about it. It will not over sharpen your pencils. It will spit them out immediately. It's not going to just spin and spin and spin and just eat your pencil. I mean, some electric sharpeners, you put your pencil in there and you can just watch your pencil go down, 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 down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's all of my pencil. So then I got a manual sharpener, or a manual electric sharpener, that I would have to put it in there and hold it, and I could pull it out when I wanted to. The problem with that was every time I would put it in there, I would tilt it somehow and I would end up breaking the lead, and then I would have to sharpen it again. And then it was a vicious cycle. So I finally broke down, was like, I'm getting this pencil sharpener. I don't care. And I did. I got this sharpener, and I'm telling you right now, I do not regret it. I do not regret it. It has saved my pencils. And that is where my money, goes. Obviously, colored pencils are not cheap. So if you have the ability to get a good pencil sharpener, then I say go for it, because you want to save your pencils. You don't want them to be eaten up by a pencil sharpener. Okay, so that's my soapbox about that. All right, anything else before I hop off today? Here is the tutorial that we did today. I'm going to be on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for our devotional and our Bible art tomorrow. So I will see you guys at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And if you have any other questions before I hop off, pop them in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to hop off of here. I'm going to go make me some lunch, because it's 2 o'clock my time and I haven't had lunch. I did have a late breakfast, though, just so y'all know. I did eat before I jumped on here. So it's not like I didn't have breakfast. So I'm not like starving or anything, but I am hungry. So I'm going to go make me some lunch. Any questions? Yes, this will be going up on my Tube of You channel. The replay will be available. It absolutely will. I had a blast today. This was fun. I really, really enjoyed it a lot. I feel like that I'm really loving our Thursday lettering lab more and more, because I'm getting better at it. Because before I was so bad at lettering that I never wanted to do it. And now that I am feeling like I'm starting to actually feel like I'm getting halfway decent at it, which is, I'm still not great at it, but I'm getting better at it. And because of that, I'm really enjoying these Thursday lettering designs. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it as much. Oh, yay, Stacy Lee. Okay, I will, I'm going to get off of here and pop it in my DMs and I'll look at it. You guys, love y'all. I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time.